Yeah, you're on. Hey, boy.
Hi friends, I'm Miss Jen, or Jen from the Leicester Library, and I'm here to do a series called It's a Science Thing. We're going to try some different experiments or just explore materials together, and I think it will be fun. Science is not my strong suit, so I have been learning as I've been putting this together, and it has been a lot of fun for me. I've been looking on the computer, watching videos, and looking through books that we have at the library. Together we'll be doing some of this and learning, because there's a lot to learn. Okay, we're going to start with balloons. We're going to do a whole bunch of stuff with balloons, and this episode is mostly trying to figure out how to make the balloon expand. So I'm going to use my breath. The air that we inhale is mostly nitrogen. It has oxygen in it and carbon dioxide, a little bit of carbon dioxide. And when the air is in your body, it goes through processes, and what we exhale is also largely nitrogen, some oxygen, and more carbon dioxide than when we breathe it in. So there is that inside of this balloon right now. And what is a balloon made out of? Well, that lets it expand. It's made out of polymers. They are elastic, and what they do is they stretch so that when they're expanded, they do not break. They'll just keep going and going and until they're full. And then eventually, if you blew it all the way, they would eventually break. But I'm going to show you an example of how it does not pop. And this is a skewer. It is a wooden skewer, and I'm going to put it through this balloon. And because the balloon is made of polymers, it should not pop. It may pop. We'll just do what we can. I'm going to go through this way, actually. I'm going to go through the end. This one. Here we go. Through one end. It does let it out. No. Okay. Go. Before it. Okay. Stop. Okay. Good. It's not letting it all out. So it went through, and it did not pop. And the reason that it didn't pop is because the elastic polymers stretched and made room for the skewer to come through and then close back over the skewer. Except on the bottom, it didn't close so well. The top there is no leak, so it tightly secured around the skewer. If I let this hand go, you'll see that it's not that. Oh, well, maybe it is. Oh, it's going smaller. It's not as tight. But that is how the balloon is able to get a skewer through it, is that it is very stretchy. You could try that at home. I did, before I put this earlier, I took a piece of sandpaper and smoothed the skewer out so there was nothing sticking out to cause it to catch and pop. So that explains the balloon's elasticity. There's another way to blow up a balloon that uses that same oxygen and carbon dioxide, mostly nitrogen, air, but it does not use my lungs, and it's a pump. And you just pump it up like that, and it gets full. You can fill up a balloon using a pump. Another way to fill up a balloon is by using yeast and warm water. This is yeast, and it's something that's used for making bread often. I would say most of the time. We are going to put some warm water into a bottle. And then we're going to put in a package of yeast. Let's see. Yeast are little organisms. They're actually little living things in here. Let's see. Woo. Definitely smells like bread. We're going to put that in there and swish it around a little bit. Doesn't look like much. It's like sludge. So there it is in this warm water. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed the yeast. I'm going to feed the yeast some sugar. And something magical happens when you put sugar in with the yeast. I shouldn't say it's magical, it's scientific, but it's going in there. And what I'm going to do is let that sit for a bit, and I'm going to put a balloon on top of this bottle. We'll go on and do our other things, and then at the very end, see if anything happened. I'm going to set this aside here to do its thing, and hopefully it will work. That would be another way to fill up a balloon. That way, it's doing it on its, without my help. Here is another way to fill up a balloon or inflate a balloon. And you could do it with baking soda and vinegar. Baking soda and vinegar are things that are used for baking a lot and also for cleaning. And this is used for cooking too. Lots of times for salad dressings and things. It's vinegar. Here we go. We are going to put some baking soda, which is what I just put some in there, in this bottle. A little more. Okay, now I am going to take a balloon. I should probably stretch it a little bit. I'm going to put some vinegar in. And then, didn't do this the right way around, but we'll see if anything happens. I'm going to put more in. I did this a different way around before. I know how I did it before. Another way that you can do it is by putting the baking soda into the balloon and tipping it up. So I have a funnel to help put it in there because it is really hard to do without one. I'm just going to put some baking soda in the balloon itself, because the balloon is kind of like a little bag. More baking soda. Ooh, it's definitely in there. All right, let's see if anything is going to happen. We'll try that again. Ready? We'll put the balloon over the mouth of the bottle, and we will bring it to the center, and we'll tip the balloon up slowly and see if it does it. It's sort of blowing it up. Teeny tiny bit. What will happen if I put a lot in there? Who knows? It's all trial and error. We are experimenting. Ready? A little tiny bit. What's happening in here is that when the baking soda and the vinegar interact, there's a chemical reaction, and what happens is carbon dioxide is let off, and it's let off in big quantities, and it fills up the bottle, and then has nowhere else to go, so it goes into the balloon. So there's carbon dioxide in here, as well as some other trace gases in there as well. So another way that you could fill up a balloon without using your breath or a pump is with hot water. And let me show you this. Ooh, some of these things, I'm going to have this sign here that says adult supervision, because this has hot water, and it should not be done without an adult around. here we go. And I'm going to take this hot water. This is a tea kettle. And I'm going to put the hot water in here where it says hot water. Put a bunch in here. Okay, that should do. And I am going to, oh, and here is cold water, and it's cold and filled with ice cubes. We need another balloon, which is over here. Let's use this color. I'm going to stretch it a tiny bit. All right. Let's see what happens. And again, we put the balloon on the mouth of the bottle, and we are going to put it into hot water. The balloon has nothing but air in it. Ooh-wee, look at that. It is filling up. The balloon is filling up in the hot water. That's because when you heat up air molecules, they spread out and they start to move faster, and the activity and moving faster pushes air up into the balloon because there's only limited space in the bottle. But now, if hot water makes it expand, what do you think cold water might do? Let's give it a shot. Let's take it from here and put it in the ice cube water. Let's see if anything happens. This is not as dramatic, but let's see.
Oh, it's
getting smaller. It's shrinking. Maybe I should go back to the hot. Let's do it. Whoa. It's a weird shape balloon. Hot. Maybe I need to get the ice out of the way. Yeah. Cold. Let's make my hand cold. If we kept this here for a very long time, it would actually get really small, and sometimes I have had it go into the bottle itself. Actually, it goes so low that it gets sucked into the bottle, which is pretty cool to see. I'm not sure why it's not doing it now, but I'll leave that sitting here, and maybe it'll be done by the time show's over. The show. Okay, so we'll have that sit there, although it's not going to sit because it is buoyant. All right, another way to fill up a balloon is to fill up a balloon with water. But before we do that, I'm going to show you this bottle, and this bottle looks like it is empty. It looks like there is nothing in there. However, it is full of stuff. It is full of air, and so it is filled with nitrogen and oxygen, a little bit of carbon dioxide, and some other trace elements of stuff. We just can't see it. It is full in there, and I'll show you that it's full in there by taking a balloon, putting it in the bottle, and then again taking it from inside and putting it around the mouth of the bottle. So it looks like that. And I am going to blow it up, right? Do you think it's going to work? Easy peasy, because there's enough room, right? The balloon's small. There's enough room to blow it. Here we go. Hold on. It is not going. It's not going. But let me try something and see if this might work. And then I'll explain it. you need to have an adult do this because it is sharp. I'm making a hole in this bottle. Okay, it's not easy to do and it requires a sharp thing, so I do ask that you get a parent to help you, or an adult. So now, there's a hole in the bottle and I'm going to try to blow it up again. Ready? It worked. I wonder why. It is because there's air in here, and when I cover the hole and there's no place for the air to go out, the air is taking up room and won't let the air inside, won't let the balloon expand because there's no room to expand. It's filled, right? No room. But if I open up the hole and let air come out, as the air releases, there's more room for the balloon to grow. Another thing that's cool about this is that if you take it, you can make the balloon stay open, stay expanded. If I put my finger over that hole, ta-da! Now I'll lift my finger, and it goes. So I am going to fill this balloon with water, and we will see what happens. First, I'm going to expand the balloon and keep my finger over the hole. This can be disastrous if you let go of the hole. Not disastrous. It can be very, you can get wet. But I'm going to fill the balloon up. My finger stays over the hole. This is kind of a fun thing you can do to trick your friends. Finger has to stay over the hole, or else you can guess what might happen. That! No, but I did have my finger over the hole still. Or maybe I have to, I don't know. We'll experiment again. But look, if I go like this, if I didn't let so much water go out, the balloon would be bigger. But there's now a water balloon inside the bottle. If it was bigger, it would be more impressive. But that's pretty cool to have a water balloon inside the bottle. Somebody may wonder, how'd you get it in there? Because, boy, that's a small hole for a balloon like that. If the balloon was even bigger, it would be like, wow. Because if you tried to put a big water balloon in this hole, what do you think might happen, right? You'd push, and then look, tricky. Now, there's one other thing that I can show you that you can do for your, on your friends. So you can impress people that way. That's kind of a cool thing. It's like you know a trick. I'm going to break this and take this balloon out. Oh, it's got a little tiny, it's a little tiny spray. I have to get the balloon out to show you the next cool thing. All right, I'll have to do it. Out. Yeah, I'm doing this in the library. I think the library's closed. The books are not getting wet. I am, but the books aren't. Okay, so here's another thing. I'm going to try that one more time, and let me show you. So we put the balloon in the bottle, we put the mouth of the balloon around the mouth of the bottle, and we blow it up. Okay, so we had a little problem with the camera there. And so I am finishing up the show, it's a science thing, by myself. So the camera's going to just stay in one place. And hopefully you'll be able to see the trick that I was going to show you. So we have that bottle that does have a hole in it. We're going to take a balloon. Let's blow it up to stretch it. We're going to put it in the bottle, and we're going to fill the balloon up with air, and then hold it open. And hold it open. So there it is, inflated. What we're going to do is we're going to put water in it. Now last time I wanted to make a water balloon, so I tied the top. This time, if you want to play a joke on your friends, and I'm not going to put a whole lot in here because I don't want to clean it up, but move everything out of the way. what you can do is have a friend, hopefully a good friend, and maybe a friend with a good sense of humor, and maybe on a hot day outside. So you have your finger over the hole. The balloon is expanded with water in the balloon. Now, just think for a moment, what might happen if I let my finger go? You got it. So you could say, come on over here to your friend. Look at this. Can you believe that there's water inside this? You don't believe me? Come on over. So your friend comes closer, and when your friend goes to check it out, you let your finger go, and you go. Now that was a little bit of a spurt. If I had filled up the balloon, it would have been pretty messy. So that's something that you could do. Maybe on a day when it's warm outside. Anyways, that's one other way to fill up a balloon is with water. And then the last way that I have, so I have these, I had them, it was actually active yesterday. This balloon is filled with helium, believe it or not. When it's new, fresh helium, like from a store, it floats in the air. You've probably gone to parties and things, and there are balloons on strings, and they're up. They're up because they're filled with helium, and helium is lighter and goes up. And actually, if you let them go, they go to the ceiling. Something is deactivating something is happening where the helium is no longer going up, and it's just a bummer. But that is another way that balloons get filled, is with helium. And another thing that you could do, which I did do before, but the camera didn't get it, with helium, and I'm not sure if it's going to work with this dead helium, but we'll see, is, and for this, I say adult supervision. Helium balloons are something you need to buy at a store, or fill up with a tank that you bought from a store. You don't just find helium. What you can do with helium, and I have to do this when I'm doing balloons because it's just too irresistible, helium does something fun to your voice. And it may or may not work. We'll try it. Let's see. Ready? Let's see if there's anything left. No, wait a minute. Let me try. No, it doesn't have anything. It's a dead balloon, I'm sorry to say. If you have helium, it can make your voice sound funny, but this helium is no longer doing its magic, so that is done. But helium is another way to fill a balloon. So we've gone through, I believe, 7 ways to inflate a balloon. Next time, when I come back and do another science thing, it will be with balloons, but it'll be with balloons, and we are going to make balloons move things. And it'll give instructions how you might be able to make a few things from stuff at home. Okay, until then, thanks for joining me, and take care. Bye.
I'm gonna let your voice sound like this. So it's going away already. Hold on, wait a little more.
Turn to the side so they can see what you're doing.
So thank you for joining me for this episode of It's a Science Thing. Next time we'll be doing a little bit more with balloons, and hopefully you'll have some fun trying some of these things at home. Remember, adult supervision for a lot of this stuff. And until then, bye from the Leicester Library. See you soon.
I'm so bad at this.